Well, a very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candid Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. It's my pleasure to have you on board on Kenya's most comprehensive political and public governance analysis show. My good name is Evan Sokinyi, and I'm here with the Professor Herman Manyora. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm also okay. It's a fine evening. We're here taking tea, but at the same time having a conversation on all that is taking place within this country and across our borders.
Remember, if you take tea with me, I'm the only one allowed to do it. You must get to a certain age to be allowed to drink tea noisily.
No. You see, when you are there with the young people.
Yeah. She's another one. But not you. Yes,
you definitely have to behave like them. Anyway, how are you?
Fine. Yes.
President Yoweri Museveni is hitting the headlines. He was here during the official launch of Raila Odinga's AUC chairmanship bid.
Yes.
And he spoke something there. He said something that did not actually augur well with a number of Kenyans. He actually putting the Honorable Babu Owino at the center of this conversation, saying that he needs to be stopped, that he needs to actually stop meddling in the affairs of our neighboring country, Uganda. Here, this did not actually go well with a number of leaders across the border, and of course, Babu Owino himself proclaimed himself on. They said, "Man, let us begin from here." Why do you think the Ugandan president would actually make such kind of a statement on a presidential forum like the one that they had yesterday?
Well, that's normal. Museveni is an old man. He can be allowed to do a few things like those ones. Yeah. He just worried. I mean, why is he concerned about Bobby Wine interacting with Babu? You know, that's a small matter. Yeah. Okay. These are young people. They are finding their space, both in Kenya and Uganda. We can't stop young people from finding their space. Yeah.
So why do you think he would be so much determined to make sure that he stops them from maybe articulating issues? Because Babu Owino has been at the forefront of talking about issues that are affecting people, especially here in Kenya. And of course, he's also been out there giving his support for those who are fighting for what they call reformation in Uganda.
Yeah, you know, there was a time Bobby Wine, with his red beret, he was becoming a movement. I don't know what happened. I don't know whether he's still that forceful. So Museveni would be concerned that if Bobby Wine receives support from Kenya, I mean Kenyan leaders like Babu Owino, Kenyan people, youth, you know, he could grow bigger than Museveni would want him to grow. Yeah.
But how comes? Because definitely...
But remember also, there are countries that have faced insurgency from other countries, but they are own people. Uganda is in that ring of countries, Rwanda, Uganda, DRC,
oh, yes.
where countries are concerned because some people may go to the neighboring countries and wage a war against their own countries. Okay. That's a problem between Rwanda and DRC. And Uganda has experienced a bit of that, and therefore it's not something you want to take lightly. Of course, it hasn't reached that dimension, but anything that is in that direction should be concerning Museveni. Yeah.
Do you agree that to some extent it was a little bit undiplomatic of him to utter those words on that platform?
Yeah, the occasion wasn't good, but you see, Museveni is a fighter. Museveni is a warrior. Museveni is a bush warrior. He has no time for these niceties. You know, so really, this diplomatic was diplomatic speak, this, you know, demeanor of a president. He's a warrior. He's a bush warrior.
Okay.
He's fought in the bushes for a long time. He lived in the trenches. He doesn't have time for pretense like most of these other leaders. No, that's how you have to understand Museveni.
Okay. Yeah. No, let's have it here, of course.
And he's blunt with his language. Yeah, sometimes he can annoy people. He has annoyed Kenyans when he talks about Jaluo, Kung'oa, Raila, and things like those. You know, so that's Museveni for you. Just like Trump in America.
Okay. Yeah. For a long time, it has been rumored that he's not had very good relationship with the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Why do you think this time round he decided to come forward and maybe?
You know, this is not a Raila affair only; it's a Kenyan affair. Yes. Okay. Yeah. There's Ruto in between, there's Kenya, there's Raila. So it's bigger than Raila.
Okay.
Yeah.
That aside, so the man being put at the center here is Babu Owino. Of course, he's a member of the Orange Party. That is Raila's own party. We expected Babu to be at State House during that particular event, but then he decided to skip it and attended another event that was...
How do you know he skipped? That's for invited people. How do you know he was invited?
Okay.
I wasn't invited. So you can say I also skipped.
Do you think
people were calling me from there and laughing why I was not there?
No, do you think that if at all Babu Owino decided to go, or rather if he wanted to go, then he wouldn't have been invited over there?
No. I mean, that is for invited
people. So the likes of Kalonzo, Museveni, all these Azimio Brigade members who are on the other side were not invited?
Card holding members of the club.
Okay. So
Babu Owino is a rank outsider.
He's a rank outsider. So he finds himself in this kind of situations with all this exposure. Now, he was not at that particular event, but on the other end, we saw him at that Azimio presser. In the first place, do you think it was warranted of Azimio La Umoja Kenya members, definitely led by Kalonzo Musyoka, to offer that press statement during that particular moment when the other event was also going on at State House?
What did they say? I don't even know.
They said that right now that, of course, they gave their support to Raila, and at the same time, Kalonzo Musyoka declared himself the new leader of Azimio La Umoja One Kenya Coalition.
He declared himself.
Yeah.
It's good. This said, power you grab. Power is not given.
Is that the best way of grabbing power?
Yeah, power you grab. Let us see how far. But you know, it can also wrestle you to the ground.
So these people are moving his way. Definitely, Babu Owino has been there with them all along, and he's saying here that he'll not be part of that particular arrangement of ODM members maybe who are working with the government. He's decided to stick to the opposition. Now, do you think that perhaps being seen to be working against his party leader, that's Raila Odinga, would perhaps maybe work for or against him?
It depends on how he plays his card. Under normal circumstances, anybody who has tried to stand up against Raila has suffered.
Okay.
Until he toes the line. You can go back to James Orengo, Anyang' Nyong'o, who tried to be against Raila Odinga. Anyang' Nyong'o came with Charity Ngilu and Social Democratic Party. He couldn't even win his city. Chini kabisa. Akarudi kwa Raila akasema mzee niko hapa. Orengo tried to run in 202. Chini akaangua kila kitu, akarudi akasema mzee niko hapa. And you can go on and on and on. So that's the normal thing, that if you come from Luo Nyanza and you go against Raila Odinga, like where are people like Dalmaso Otieno, you Kalawasi, what do you call in Luo?
Kalawusi.
Wapi? Kalawusi ilimpeleka yeye badala ya Raila. And many other people who have tried to stand against Raila.
Okay, but the question.
So that I'm saying, that is that is what you would expect.
But the question would be, did they actually go against Raila in the similar circumstances under which Babu Owino finds himself?
No, circumstances are never the same for anybody. That's why I was coming to the other point I was saying.
Okay.
But if Babu Owino approaches this thing in a different way from those others, he can come out not just unscratched, but even very popular. He has to calculate.
So how does it
so that it does not appear to be against Raila per se, but to be offering something for the Luo nation before you go to the nation, the Kenyan nation, the Luo people. He must make himself attractive to them without having to appear to fight Raila. It's not easy. Many people have had that problem. Yeah, many people in ODM zones who try to go against Raila always pay, but there will be always one or two who do it so well. You capture the imagination of the people without hurting Raila Odinga. Yeah, in the Luo history, we have people like Robert Ouko. Dr. Robert Ouko was a Moi person, but he didn't fall in the footsteps of those others who are seen as traitors to the community. Yeah. Babu Owino can very easily do that. He can chart a path for himself without antagonizing Raila. Because the Luo also are seeing the way things are going. Power is slipping from them. So if it's somebody who can rekindle the hope that we can get that power, they'll go for him. So Babu Owino has a lot going for him.
Okay. Some people would actually argue that in terms of maybe his public image, what President Yoweri Museveni did, in fact, builds him more and gives him that kind of stature and
Mileage.
Yeah, ahead of others.
Museveni has done for Babu Owino what nobody else could have done. Even the Babu himself could not have done that. He has catapulted him up into the skies. He's on top of the mountain.
Okay.
Museveni has done for Babu what nobody else could have done. Not even Babu himself could have done half of what Museveni has done for him. Now people asking, who is this Babu? Those who don't know him.
Actually, people
across borders.
Who is this Babu?
People in Uganda who didn't know Babu Owino now know Babu Owino. Across. I was doing a radio interview with some people from Tanzania. And they're asking, this Babu, kwani Babu ni namna gani? With that Swahili, nice Swahili from Tanzania. So Museveni amejenga Babu Owino.
Okay.
Yeah.
Having been bypassed in the ODM.
And people like Babu, write them off at your own peril.
And that's why I'm actually wondering, because we've seen him being bypassed in terms of leadership in
That
the
also
Orange
helps
Party.
him. Like when they did recently, when they were reorganizing the party because Raila has left and these people who became ministers are to leave. Imagine they left out Babu and Lekina. So people asking, what is all this? Again, that had the impact of elevating Babu to a certain status. And all these things, a culmination of these different moves and things are helping to push Babu up there into the skies. Yeah.
But do you think that it's possible for him to move this way as a lone ranger, or maybe find the likes of Kalonzo Museveni? Of course, that is the kind of company that he is in right now with other youthful members of parliament in this country. Would he actually go through that particular direction and succeed in whatever political
You see, what is happening in the country, there are a lot of dynamics going on. So whatever you do must take into consideration the dynamics of the time. You can't just say, I'm going with Kalonzo Musyoka. And then it happens to be the tree, so doesn't have sufficient shade. Mvua ikianza kunyesha unanyeshewa. You need a tree with a canopy. If you are to be under a tree. So Babu Owino could as well realize that he can't, the wings of Kalonzo Musyoka can't cover him. They are too tiny. He's even bigger than those wings. So it would be foolish for him to say, I'm going to work under Kalonzo. You see? So but there's so much happening in the country. Only a foolish politician can take a stand and say, this is where I am. Crafty politicians will look at what's going on and see how to navigate around all those things that are happening. I think Babu Owino is intelligent enough to know that. Yeah.
How easy do you think it would be for him to rise from being a member of parliament maybe to another state? Because right now, as we can see, maybe he's eyeing the Nairobi County gubernatorial.
All I can say is this. There are big things ahead for Babu Owino. If his stars are aligned properly, there are bigger things for him. People like Babu are people who set out to get things. And they have what it takes to get things. So I don't think Babu can end at the level of a member of parliament.
Okay.
And I'm not saying if he stands in 2027, he'll win the governor of Nairobi. But what I'm saying is, you can't stop Babu from being big things. He can only stop himself. There are big things. People even like Sonko. There were big things ahead for them. If they were not derailed by these sort of cases, what, people like Sonko would shake the country. I wouldn't be surprised if it hadn't been for these court cases and what have you. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like Sonko was going to shake everybody when he runs for president. If he ran for president 2022 or 27, he was going to shake people. Yeah, so Babu belongs in that category of politicians. You can't put them and capture them and put them somewhere to understand them. They don't fit in a box. They are not very conventional kind of leaders. The world has produced people like those. They come from, they don't have the shape we are used to. They come in a different shape. Yeah.
What would you make of people who try to advise him maybe to form a different political party and maybe ditch his orange home right now? Would that work for or against him in the long run?
You know, anything you do, and I want to repeat, if you are Babu, you know, anything you do, don't do anything to show that you are fighting Raila. So if you form another party, because ODM is not treating you well, you are quickly seen as fighting Raila, and that will be your end.
Okay.
Find your space without fighting Raila. Already Babu, you know, is resonating with the ground, both in Nairobi and Nyanza. Make no mistake about it. And they don't. He's getting that reception because they don't see him as fighting Raila. But were he to form a political party, that is his Waterloo. Kwisha. So anataka kupigana Raila, sawa. Sawa, acha tuone atafika wapi. He would go nowhere. Yeah.
Definitely, he's been one of the fiercest critics of the President William Ruto right now. And somebody would finally, as we wind up this conversation, ask, what then does it amount to fighting Raila? Because right now it seems there is some sort of a bromance between Raila Odinga and William Ruto. And we've not seen actually Babu Owino convey support for the president. Does that perhaps mean that he may not be on the right side of the former prime minister? That
you know,
be seen as fighting.
People are not very happy with the Raila Ruto whatever relationship. That includes many of Raila's supporters.
Okay.
So Babu is, you know, he knows that. So he knows this how far he can go. Is exploiting that resentment that people have about the relationship between Ruto and Raila. There's that resentment. People are not happy with it. So Babu Owino can play around that without appearing to be scratching Raila the wrong side. Ukitoa tumakucha twako tudogo unataka kukwaruza Raila, utakutana na Simba. Na Simba ni watu wake. So you not make it. But if you are sticking to the narrative that Ruto must go, Ruto has messed this country. If you stick to that narrative, you have many followers anywhere in the country.
Okay, so how well should he play his card such that he resonates with his people, but at the same time do not antagonize Raila Odinga?
But I think I basically have said, look at the dynamics, look at what you can do what you can do to elevate yourself, to build your name, to propel yourself to some spaces up there, but without being seen to be fighting Raila. That's all. Okay. The rest are details you can get from a consultant. If he comes to Herman Analytica, we will consult for him. We will help him.
But already he's a household name.
Yeah, he's doing well. We want candidates. We need clients like those ones. We can. By the way, tell your viewers, Herman Analytica is a serious outfit that can package you and prepare you for elective politics, whether civic, parliamentary, gubernatorial, national politics. We do things even for people outside.
Analytica.
Pardon?
Herman
Analytica.
Yeah. It's definitely a consultation.
Yeah.
Maybe
people like Babu should come. We package them. We help them. Build their image. Yeah, we brand.
Meaning even that tender that was given to that Canadian farm to...
Yeah, they should come to people like us. And I'm telling you, and I'm not joking, I'm telling Kenyan politicians.
Yes.
First, look for homegrown solutions.
Okay.
They work better. Secondly, you must know that within this country, there are people who can do these things you take to foreigners.
Okay.
Some of these foreigners are given jobs, but quietly they approach us. They may not give us enough money, but they approach us. They may pay us a little money because they are exploiting us. But they know we are the ones who know.
Okay.
So anybody who wants to run, please, Herman Analytica is a company to come to.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. You've heard of Herman Analytica. That's a consultancy firm here that Prof says will help anybody who is interested in leadership field in this particular country. Allow me to stop this conversation at this particular moment, but of course, do not fail to tune in to some of our programs that will be coming up next. Thank you for watching. My name is Evans. Okinyi.